The Paycheck Protection Program. Guys, PPP Round 2 is here, and the SBA just released the application for this second round of forgivable loans. Whether you are self-employed, own a small business, or perhaps maybe you are a 1099 sole proprietor, or maybe if you didn't get a loan the first time around, then you're going to want to pay attention to this. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. I'm Sole, and I usually post financial planning and financial awareness videos each week, and many of you have reached out to me asking to cover more self-employment videos, so I wanted to cover these new forgivable PPP loans today. I'm going to review the application paperwork with you that you'll have to send to a bank. I'll share some screenshots with you to help direct you where to go, and we'll go over a few of the changes with this second PPP loan compared to the first one. If you completed the first PPP loan documents, then you'll find it's pretty similar, but there are a few tweaks and we'll go over them because as of the day I'm filming this video, there already are a few tweaks and changes that need to be made to this actual form that I got directly from the SBA website. So I'll go ahead and I'll link that in the description below. Also, it's important to note that lenders haven't started processing this paperwork or these applications just yet. So if you're watching this video pretty closely to when it's getting released, then kudos to you for getting ahead of the game and getting organized before banks actually start accepting this paperwork. Here's what the application looks like. As you can see, I got it directly from the SBA website and it says effective as of December 31st of 2020. But as I mentioned a minute ago, there are a few tweaks and changes to this actual form and I'll point them out here in a minute. You start at the top and you've got to check one where it says sole proprietor, partnership, C Corp, S Corp, LLC, or an independent contractor. Really just depends on how your business is taxed. And then to the right of that, you've got your DBA, your doing business as, your trade name for your business. And then going back to the left, beneath the area where you check that box, you've got your business legal name. I just chose my S Corp example, as you can see here. Beneath that, you've obviously got your business address, 123 Maple Drive, Leaving, California, 90210. And then to the right of there, you've got your business EIN or your tax identification number. Now, if you are a sole proprietor, then this is probably where you'll just put your own social security number, but go ahead and plug that information in there as well. Naturally, your business phone number, primary contact, your email address, and then shifting our focus right beneath there, you've got your average monthly payroll. Not too hard to calculate this out. You basically just take your total payroll for the entire 2020 calendar year and divide by 12, and that would be your average monthly payroll. In this example, I'm just simply using $10,000 of average monthly payroll. The other area where there is a change to this document is where it says 2.5 multiplier. There are some businesses that will be eligible for a 3.5 multiplier, but for most folks, stick with a 2.5 because that's probably where you'll fall. So that would be a total loan of $25,000 and listed employees would be just simply one. And then right beneath there, you've got your purpose of the loan. And this is actually what you plan and intend to spend this loan on. You've got payroll, lease or mortgage interest, utilities. Now, keep in mind that about 60% or more of your loan, in order for it to be forgivable, is going to have to be spent on payroll. So make sure that you're aware of that as well. And then right beneath there, you've got the list of all of the owners. Again, if you are a single member LLC or if you are a sole proprietor, you're just going to have your own name listed on this area. However, if you have multiple owners, you're going to want to list them here if they have 20% ownership or more. If they have 5, 10, or say 15% ownership, you don't have to list them on this document. But 20% or more, you got to put their name down, their title, their ownership percentage. You have to put their social security number as well as their address as well. And then scrolling down to the next page, you got to check some of these boxes. Hopefully the answer to all of these for you is no. For number one, you've got, are you presently suspended, debarred, proposed for debarment, declared ineligible, or presently involved in any bankruptcy? Again, hopefully that answer for you is no. Number two, have you been delinquent or defaulted in the last 7 years and caused a loss for the government? Again, hopefully that answer for you is no. And then number 3, do you have any other businesses or any common management within any other businesses? And if so, you're going to have to go ahead and list those on a separate sheet identified as Addendum A. Number 4, have you received an SBA EIDL loan last year? If yes, please provide the details on a separate sheet noted as Addendum B. So if you did get a loan last year, go ahead and put that on Addendum B as well. And then question 5 and 6, hopefully the answer for you here is no, because if you answer yes for question 5 or 6, your loan is not going to be approved. And question 5 has to do with any individual owning 20% or more of the equity. Are you incarcerated, or do you have any felony presently subject to indictment, criminal information, arraignment, or any other means which formal criminal charges are brought in any jurisdiction? Again, you're going to want to go ahead and check that box no, assuming that is your lawful legal answer. And then number 6, within the last 5 years for any felony involving fraud, bribery, embezzlement, false statement, just making sure that you are playing in between the lines and you're not doing anything illegal or wrong. But go ahead and read through that question as well, making sure that your answer is no also. And then number 7, in the United States, is the United States the principal place of residence for all employees of the applicant, including in the applicant's payroll calculation above, because this is intended just for people that reside in the United States. And then moving forward to the next page where you have to initial these certifications. One of the things I would tell you to do when going over this paperwork, and this is true not only for this exact application, but for collecting all of the documentation for your PPP loan as well, I would just say one of my tips for you would be to do this when you have a little bit more patience, maybe after you've already had a meal, maybe when you don't have your employees or customers or clients breathing down your neck. You're going to want to read through each of these things. Don't just initial them and blow by them. One of the things that you do as an entrepreneur, as someone who is self-employed, is you wear like 16 different hats at once, and not all of you, but some of you are a little disorganized. So when you go through paperwork like this, again, have some patience. I would tell you, do it after you have a meal, after you've had some food in your belly, because you'll have a little bit more of a calm sense when you're going through and reading some of this, because you want to read through each of these specifically just to make sure you know what you're initialing and what you're signing up for. So take your time and go through some of these certifications. I'm not going to bore you by going through all of them, but essentially you've got to make sure that you acknowledge and certify everything that is listed on this page as well, and then sign at the bottom. Other things that you'll need to do along with this application form is to provide documentation that certifies that you had at least a 25% drop in gross receipts, and it has to be the same quarter in 2020 compared to the same quarter in 2019. So hypothetically speaking, real quick, let's just say, for example, in 2019, in maybe the third quarter, you did $10,000 of gross receipts. Well, that means in 2020, in order for you to be eligible for this new second round of PPP loans, you had to have a 25% drop, which would be $7,500 or less. Now, that's just an example. Your numbers might be different from that, but you have to have at least one quarter in 2020, Q1, Q2, Q3, or Q4, compared to that same quarter in 2019, and you had to have at least a 25% drop in gross receipts in order for you to qualify. So you're going to want to go ahead and keep track of your business P&L, your profit and loss statement, or your revenue statement. Maybe provide a W-3 for 2019 and 2020. Just make sure that your paperwork and documentation is all buttoned up. And if you're doing it on your own, then take your time working through it. Or if you've got a CPA to help you, just make sure that you're providing them with all of the documentation so that there's no problem with your application with the bank. Also, a few of the changes with PPP Round 2 compared to the first round of PPP, I might have mentioned this a moment ago, but you used to be eligible if your company had 500 employees. Now they've knocked that number down to 300 employees, and it used to be a much higher maximum loan amount. Now it's only $2 million. And in regards to the loan amount, if you're going to take under $150,000 worth of a loan, then you will be eligible to go ahead and have a simplified forgiveness process that is streamlined into a one-page forgiveness application. You're still going to have to certify that you've complied with the PPP loan and all of the documentation that goes with that. But if you're applying for under $150,000 worth of forgivable PPP loans, then you'll have a really easy, streamlined process moving forward. Another change that they made with PPP Round 2 is in regards to what you can use the money on. I know a moment ago I mentioned payroll, lease, and mortgage interest, but they actually also expanded the eligible expenses to cover operation expenditures, property damage costs, supplier costs, and worker protection expenditures as well. And if you're wondering where I got a lot of this information, it's directly from the SBA website, even though it does say effective December 31st, 2020 on this screenshot right here. There more than likely will be some updates moving forward once they tweak that form as well. And then also too, most lenders, even though I mentioned a moment ago that they are not accepting these applications and this paperwork yet, pretty much most of the lenders that did do PPP Round 1 will more than likely be doing PPP Round 2 as well. But there is a list directly on this website as well. Go ahead and click that PDF download red rectangle right there, and you will be able to see all of the approved lenders in your state if you want to go through one of them. In addition to PPP Round 2, go ahead and check out my other video about 10 really good tax deductions and tax credits if you're self-employed. If you like this video, do me a favor, tap that like button. And if you like videos like this about self-employment or about financial awareness and financial planning, we'd love to invite you to subscribe to the channel as well. I usually post financial planning and financial awareness videos each week. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments down below. I appreciate your time. See you in the next one.